the Indigo disc. One of the most anticipated DLC expansions for fans who play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, or at least the ones that stuck around despite all the bugs and glitches. So naturally, it was time to give myself a go in this brand new world that opened up. And since the DLC means a new experience, I decided to just bring with me a shiny Marini. Oh, and in case you were wondering where the audio gameplay is, well, this was supposed to be a multi-part playthrough episode, except OBS only recorded my voice and not the game audio. Why? Because OBS hates Bluetooth. But not to worry, together me and Maggie are ready to take on whatever Indigo Disc throws at me. I lost in the very first battle. And if you want to see me suffer more from playing a children's video game, be sure to subscribe, share the video, leave a comment! Now back to the video. I'm ready to begin building my team, but not only is the run essentially a boss rush, but every trainer fight is a double battle. So I decided to catch a Duraludon, who I named Railgun. After that, I spent 20 minutes trying to luck for an Alolan Vulpix before giving up because I was playing Pokemon Violet and Alolan Vulpix is Scarlet exclusive. But I didn't know that because the DLC was just released at the time of recording. So I instead caught a Joltik and did a Terra Raid where I caught a 5-star Lapras. A huge boon for me and makes up for missing out on Alolan Vulpix. But a broken Lapras can't fix a broken person, as we met with Kieran again, who's got total Black Air Force energy ever since we caught this one adorable ogre he was obsessed over. And then suddenly, Quad reincarnated asked me on a date? Not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting to jump from creepy Kieran to being on the other hand of a dating simulator, but here we are! A new day starts and it's time to evolve Railgun, catch a Pokemon with the world's most complicated evolution, and catch a Turtwig! Well, I wish it was that simple for me. You see, it costs 3,000 PP to expand one of the biomes to allow you access to the starters. And I misremembered Turtwig's environment as a Savannah biome, when in actuality, Turtwig's in the Canyon biome. So I spent another 2 hours trying to get enough points to expand the correct biome, and spent 20 minutes looking at Turtle Cavern because Remy gave me the wrong location for Turtwig. But finally, I found the tiny turtle! Since DreamWorks just released a trailer for Kung Fu Panda 4, I decided it would be appropriate to name this Turtwig Oogway. If there's a silver lining with spending so much time for Turtwig, I caught a shiny Executor off screen. Now that I've gathered my full team, it was finally time to challenge the BB League. And since I lost to Lacey the last time, it was time to get my revenge against the apparently Fairy-type Master. Oh, and a bit of a heads up, these BB League players go hard, as each of them have competitive teams with at least one Pokemon that's not their type, and a fully evolved starter. Essentially, it's like fighting the Sinnoh League from the Terrible Sinnoh remix, except I'm going in completely blind! My main strategy for Lacey was to stop Rain and Toxic Spikes, allowing Railgun to wreak havoc on their team! But Maggie's Toxic Spikes wouldn't last long, as Lacey's last 2 Pokemon were a Galarian Slowbro and that same Excadrill that defeated me before, whom she immediately terrestrializes into a Fairy type. I was down to technically just Mysterio and Railgun, as Oogway was still a Turtwig, so I had to make a big play. I had Railgun used for tech, particularly the Excadrill to gun for Railgun, allowing Mysterio to whack that Mo with superpower, winning the match for me. I evolved Oogway before moving on to the next match with Crispin, whom I decided to lead with both of my water types, but his Rotom kept being a huge pain in the ass! Mysterio finally took out that Rotom, but not before one final screw you with a lucky paralysis on Nessie! So not only did Nessie get fully paralyzed, but he missed a Hydro Pump! Thankfully, Nessie finally sniped the camera and Mysterio finished off the Executor, leaving Crispin with just his Blaziken and Magmortar. Nessie finally went down, but thankfully, Mysterio stepped up. Malamar can know the move called Superpower, a powerful fighting type attack at the cost of attack and defense. But Malamar has Contrary, which reverses buffs and debuffs, so thanks to a +2 attack, Mysterio was able to one-shot Blaziken. Too bad the Magmortar one-shot Mysterio and nearly one-shotted Railgun with a Sunny Day boosted Heat Wave. But Friendship Mechanics saved the day as Railgun was able to avoid the second Heat Wave and defeat McMortar. After the best elite trial ever, it was time to defeat Amyrus, and I lost. Her Skarmory kept using this combo of Stealth Rock and Whirlwind, which severely weakened my team. And Oogway, my best answer to her Steel types, got one-shot by her Empoleon's Ice Beam. In fact, every water Pokemon in the BB League has Ice Beam, including the Primarina, which makes Torterra a lot less useful in an Indigo Disc playthrough. I decided to feed Spot some speed enchanting drugs so that Spot can spark that stupid middle bird. We both set out our stars, and having learned from last time, I had Oogway use Protect, predicting the Ice Beam, allowing Spot to get a lucky paralysis on the Empoleon, allowing Oogway to outspeed and send that Penguin marching to its grave with an earthquake. And for some reason, Relentless used Trick Room before immediately pressing the backspace button. Things look a bit bleak with Railgun having to fight both Scizor and Metal Growth on her own, but Railgun was like, a fair fight, and sniped both of them! With 3 to BB League 4 defeated, only Drayden remains before the champion. First things first, I have to complete this trial, but I can only use Pokemon I caught in Terrarium, which would mean only Meggy would have to sit out, right? Well, Nessie have to sit out too, because Pokemon that are caught in Terra Raids don't count as Terrarium caught Pokemon. Fortunately, none of the 3 trainers were hard, but Drayden was the toughest match in this entire run. I ended up losing to him 3 times in a row, forcing me to learn from my losses and develop a foolproof strategy to defeat his stupid dragons, which boils down to abusing the AI's always going for the kill when a Pokemon's in the red to score free hits. And despite Drayden answering my Arkeldon with one of his own, Railgun sniped Drayden's remaining Pokemon with surgical precision. With how much I struggled with those last 2 members of Elite 4, I'm gonna need some serious firepower before I can face Kieran. And I can't think of anything more fitting than bringing Ogerpon. I decided to box Spot since he hasn't been that helpful, and Railgun already has electric type coverage. With preparations complete, it is time to beat the villain arc out of Kieran and become the BB League champion. Kieran leads with a Dragonite and Politoed, while I lead with Mysterio and Nessie. And being the competitive team, you can bet your ass that Politoed is gonna have Drizzle. I had Mysterio set up a Reflect, but once again, Nessie got an unlucky paralysis. With Dragonite defeating Mysterio, it was time for Oogway to step up and... Oh, at this point I'm not surprised anymore. I finally took out Kieran's Politoed, and all it took me was half of my team just to kill one of Kieran's Pokemon. Fortunately, by the time the rain stopped, Railgun now has a 2+ special attack and finished off the Dragonite. You might be wondering, what could be worse than a Pseudo Legendary? Well, how about an Incineroar? You know, the Pokemon that broke VGC? That Incineroar immediately knocks out Meggy, leaving me with just 2 Pokemon against Kieran's 4. But I have a secret weapon, Ogerpon. Kieran lashes out for being reminded that he got cuckolded by the struck Pokemon, which gave me the opening needed for Ogerpon to take out the Porygon Z. Railgun then takes out the Incineroar, evening the playing field. With only 2 Pokemon remaining, Kieran sends out a Grimmsnarl and... What the heck? So, this is a Hydrat Bull, which is Dippin's evolved form, making all the Flapplers and Appletones pop off in jealousy. Grimmsnarl sets up a Reflect thanks to Prankster, and Ogerpon misses the Play Rough, forcing her to barely survive Hydrat Bull's Earth power. The Grimmsnarl also survives a Flash Cannon thanks to Focus Sash, but since I had Meggy set up a Toxic Spike earlier before she went down, it was a false victory. This allowed Ogerpon to finally finish off the Hydrat Bull and win the championship match. Normally, this will be the part where I sign up the video, but the game reminds us that we still have a turtle to find, so Kieran, Carmen, and I go with Miss Frizzle on a field trip to Area 0, where we found the turtle, whom Kieran immediately Master Balls. Which, to be fair, I would have done that too, so you earn my respect, Kieran. But the turtle went berserk, forcing the 3 of us to work together, but after a long fought battle, I caught the turtle, Kieran and I became friends again, and the game is finished. This was a fun experience, which I wish I could have shown in full, but OBS had other plans. But regardless, I wanted to thank the entire team for this run, But let's be real, Railgun did all the work here.